All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's going on, everybody? Let this person in. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Glad you guys. Sorry, woke up a little late to do my live, but it's all good. Better late than never, right? I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Whenever people hop on, they will, and of course, I'm recording, so you'll be able to watch the playback. So just gonna go over like how I went over the Tuesday intraday analysis last week. I'm gonna go from the clean charts, just showing it, mapping it out, and then going on arbitrage and seeing what arbitrage is gonna tell me. And so, as I mentioned on the weekly analysis on Monday, I didn't really like where the DXY was at. I did say that there's a possibility that it could still come down to this 91.23, that this white line all the way down here, where this price had recently came down to, but also that the possibility of price staying where it's currently at, down at this low support, it still exists very much so. And I'll go ahead and, oops, I did not mean to go to the daily on this side of the chart, but it's okay. Go back to 1 hour on there. But yeah, so on the daily time frame, we can see that price is kind of starting to show. It's just showing a lot of respect right here at this point in time, which is exactly what I love to see. Still expecting the DXY to turn around, and if it doesn't, then hey, then it's all good. I still, like I said, the possibility for price to come down here still exists, but I'd rather see price start to turn around right now. And DXY, go to the arbitrage indicator. And so on the 15-minute, on the left right here, you can see that price did try to go bullish, but it didn't. It came back down and back up. So we can see DXY on the 15-minute definitely was setting up for like about 2.5 hours ago. It didn't call right, but didn't call it's come back for itself. But it's still down at this little support. It's still reflecting this little support that's down here, right? So what I still want to see, and it's 1 hour is very close to calling for a buy as well. So I'm looking for DXY to turn around. I'm looking for any moment, right? And so I'm just going to see how DXY 15 minutes time frame. I'm observing trade to go bullish, so that you guys see kind of watching where it goes. I'm watching it right here to the 92/94 area. Let me put it at 94. There you go. I'm seeing price to turn around and at least come back up here, and then I'll see what it does for there. Right, like price to turn around for sure. And yeah, like I said, see what price is up here. Maybe it comes back down and consolidates a little bit, but I am still looking for my bullish opinion on the DXY, right? And so, yeah, expect to go to 94. Waiting on arbitrage to tell me that it's gonna start heading back up. If it could show the screen, that'd be great. There we go. So yeah, just waiting on the arbitrage indicator to tell me what's up. Switch over to EURUSD. Let me just go over here. Same thing, go to the EURUSD. All right, so EURUSD is looking really bullish. I'm still in this trade. Like I mentioned, I'm still in this trade and I'm still holding it. I'm still in this sell that I had gone into right up here. Well, actually, I think I got into the sell right here. Yeah, I got into the sell right here. I'm still in this sell, still not out the trade, but I mentioned that my bias on this trade is to stay bearish until the daily candle closes above 1.19700, and I'll show you guys on the weekly why I gave that opinion once more. Okay, let me zoom this out. Okay, reason why I said that, because look where price is currently at. Price had came all the way up to this zone right here and respected it. In fact, I should move this a little higher to where price is currently at, so that it could reflect that a little bit more. But yeah, price last time it was up here, which is in 2018, it gave this little wick and then started to drop. So that's the reason why I'm saying that I still think that EURUSD will give its bearish move. It's just that, like I said, I'm still in this trade. I'm still being patient with it. But it's a good amount of drawdown. You know, it is a good amount of drawdown. I know nobody really likes to be in like 26 pips in drawdown, but I'm perfectly fine. Even if price does hit my stop loss, I'm perfectly fine with that happening. But I do really think that price is going to respect these highs and then start to drop, you know? And so that's why I'm still with that play. I'm still exactly with it. For those that aren't in this trade, let me go ahead and close this out because I'm thinking of adding another position. I like the way how this has been respecting and all that stuff. And it's the same thing with the US dollar, right? So what I'm going to probably do is I'm going to go ahead and put an entry where price is at. And I still want to take it down to this 61.8/71.0 fib that I was talking about. That's the area that I still think that price might come to. And I'm going to put my stop loss at 1.20237. It's a 1-to-4 risk to reward ratio, or 1 to 4.65 risk to reward ratio. And like I said, this is still, it's pretty risky, and it's still, I'm still in this previous sell from right here, where I see recent equal highs. That's where I still have my my previous sell at. It's still in drawdown, but I still expect this to drop, right? So go to the arbitrage indicator to go and see what that's saying. So same thing with the DXY. EURUSD EURUSD is calling for a buy. It did call for the sell on the 15-minute, but then it's calling for the buy right after. But again, it's at this little, let me actually draw, or let me get rid of these drawings on here real quick. Let me get rid of that. There we go. I don't know why that took a while to pop up. But yeah, so I am expecting, or I'm looking at price to respect these highs right here that it came and hit, and just for it to start dropping. I'm going to wait on, well, actually not, I'm not going to wait. Like I said, I'm going to enter a little like early, and then I'll wait to get into EURUSD. So I'm going to set my alert, and then we'll see what happens. Then I'm gonna just put my long create, and we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I do expect the US dollar to turn around right about now. Just drop a few of these right here. All right, so that's for EURUSD. Go on ahead and switch over to GBPUSD. About to get in my entry. So I talked about this yesterday. This is a pair that I was watching, but now I am probably most likely going to get into it very, very shortly. That is GBPUSD. So GBPUSD yesterday, I was mentioning that how I expected it. Oops, I need this on the daily. That I was expecting it to climb up to 1.3, like 500, basically, right, all the way up here, and then for it to drop. It might not reach there. It might not realistically get all the way up there, and I'll be a little upset about that. I had my eyes set on that price range. But hey, if it doesn't reach there, then it is what it is. I am still expecting price to fall. I'm still expecting price to fall within this area. Let me see how many pips price is away from my intended entry. 25 pips. And you see that I have an alert there set for when price does reach there, but I don't think that it might. I don't think that it might, but I'm not trying to be in no 25 pip drawdown. So I'm just going to wait for that to still hit. And like I said, it still is making higher highs. That's why yesterday I didn't necessarily want to sell it. I was like, I'm just going to wait for my alert to set. So I'm still waiting on this alert to get triggered. But if it doesn't get triggered, that's why we have arbitrage, right? Arbitrage 15-minute time frame as soon as it loads up. Okay. So arbitrage, nothing's really calling for the sells either on GBPUSD. So that's even another reason more why I wanted for that price range to get hit. And I think that it will. I still think that it will. So that's why I'm just like, be patient. No need to try to get in a rush to get into this trade. So yeah, just waiting on the 15-minute time frame for GU to sell, to give that alert to sell. So gonna go ahead, GBPUSD. Same thing, guys. Like, and reason why I'm doing this way of trading, because this is how I started trading. I used to do support, resistance, Fibonacci, trend lines, or figure out what the trend is and price action more. And so that's the reason why I'm doing it like this instead of looking at the filter. And I'm going do through my list because that's how I used to be. That's how I found my most success in trading, and I felt like I've dabbled onto too many different pairs, and that messes up my trading journal. You know, like I have my preset trades that I always look at, and just look at those every day and just get those right. So it's like I said, GU, waiting on this, set my alert. But I do want this price at 1.3500 or 1.34938, whatever you want to call it. I'm still expecting this to get hit and then a drop. That's what I'm looking for on GBPUSD. And it looks solid. I still like the way how it looks. I still expect that to happen. And if it doesn't, hey, it is what it is. I'm okay with missing that trade, but I'm not trying to be in like 20-something pip drawdown at this morning. I'm really okay with that right now. I'd rather just wait. All right, so that's for GBPUSD. AUDUSD. So AU, I'm still in this trade. I'm still very much in this trade. I'm in profits. This trade did go a little haywire on me last week because where you see this white line, that is my entry. So it did go a little haywire on me, but I mentioned it in my own group chat that I'm still in it. I'm still going to hold the sell because that's where I got in it, and it's looking like it's going to start to drop very shortly. So I am pretty glad that that's happening right now. I was a little scared because price did come and make a higher high on the hourly time frame. So I was like, oof, that's going to be a little rough. But other than that, still looks good for this sell. But again, like my initial trade that I wanted to get into was all the way up here, but that's pretty high. And so I'm just like, okay, I'm going to get to this where I'm at right now. And if it gets to a point where I'm uncomfortable with the trade, I'm okay with getting out and taking the loss. I'm not going to hold the loss for long, you know? And so still looking good. I like what it looks like on the daily time frame for sure. So it still looks good for a potential drop. Let's go on to the arbitrage indicator and see what AUDUSD is talking about. I'm pretty sure on the 15-minute it still is in the sell. Okay. Yeah, because it called for this sell a couple hours ago, like probably like two hours ago, and this was the previous sell that it called. Then it called for this for me to get out, but I still decided to stay in this trade. And on the 1 hour time frame, let me get rid of all the drawings on here. On the 1 hour time frame, it's really about to call for this sell. So I'm still very much like still in this trade. And the reason why I saw yesterday these were like oversold, and I'm like, okay, overbought. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and stay. And my opinion did stay the same throughout the day. So if I do get this break down here, if it does end up happening for this 1 hour sell, then I'm going to put my current trade that I'm in at break even, and I'll actually get into another trade. That's the same thing I did with EURUSD yesterday. I was already in it before there's any sell-off happened on the 15-minute time frame. I took small profits and I put my stop losses at break even. So I'm okay with that. That's my trading style. I'm perfectly fine with that. And so we'll see what happens with AUDUSD. But again, I am in this trade. I'm currently up just about. I'm not even up a good like 15 pips yet. So USD, I still have expected to drop some more. So that's for that. Let's go on ahead and go on to GBPAUD. This is another pair I was looking at. I think it's already made its move though, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Bounced right off of this. Like I was thinking it was. I was kind of hoping that it will come down to 1.79792, but it never did. But like I said on my weekly analysis, I did expect this to go bullish, and it's definitely going bullish. Dang, that's a lot of pips. I should have gone into this yesterday, because that's right now it's up 178 pips. That's wild. But yeah, GA's already made its move. So if you did look at my analysis on Sunday, and you able to get into this trade within this range, then you're in good profits right about now. It would be wise to watch how your trade plays out right here, because actually, let me use a Fibonacci for this drop right here. Okay. So that's a pretty decent drop. But what I want to do is, let me put that away. Put this right here as a place where you have to watch where price it comes up to, because as you can see, price previously came up here and it never broke through this resistance, and then it dropped back down to here. So if price is in no man's land for me, I'd rather just wait and see what price does either up here or down here for me to trade off of that. And on the hourly and the 15-minute, price called for buys. Again, this wasn't a pair that I wasn't paying attention to, so I'll hold that L gracefully. But yeah, in the 4 hour, same thing. I don't like how the 4 hour looks. Daily time frame, as I mentioned on Sunday, I said that price came to this RSI line and the mean line Although it did come under it, I did still expect it to go bullish. It's going bullish right now, but don't know how long it's going to last. It's just in this consolidating zone that it was at. I'd rather wait for price again to either come up to these highs or come back down to these lows for me to be able to find a way how to interact with those. But yeah, not really looking to trade GA like that. Nothing really suits me on GA, so I'm going to go ahead and go on to my next pair that's on my list. I might add one more pair onto this list. Tacos. All right, Euro AUD, same thing. It doesn't look as nice as GBPAUD, but same thing basically. Dang, I think the move has already happened a little bit. This had 4 bullish candles. I think it's going to keep going. But yeah, let me see how many pips is up so far. About 80 pips from right here. But yeah, yesterday I had mentioned on EA that price, when it came down here, it's respected here twice, one right here and another right here on the daily time frame. I expect it to happen again. And that's exactly what it looks like it's doing. Let me go on here to look at it on the arbitrage indicator. Ooh, that felt good. All right, going to 1 hour. I think the 1 hour might be calling for a buy. I'm not too sure on that, but let's see. It called for a buy a couple more hours ago, a lot more hours than I was expecting. But yeah, so I got this sell from right here as well. Remove drawings. So the 1 hour is already at the arbitrage upper danger zone. But let me look at the 4 hour time frame real quick, because we still might be able to play off of this. There's 1 or 2 things that may happen with where price is currently at. I'm going to over here so you guys can see it a little better on the 1 hour time frame. Then I'm going to expand this. All right, so 1 of 2 things can happen on this right now. So right now, currently, price is at this resistance on the 1 hour that it might looks like it could just be a possible break and retest. It did make a double bottom W right here, but it's still at this zone. Let me draw what the previous Fibonacci was for this swing. Zoom in on it. So yeah, right now it's at the 61.8 Fibonacci level. I would be watching it, personally speaking, I'd be watching it right about here to see if it is going to respect it or drop. But if I were to try to get into a trade, I'd want to get in like right around right here. So this would be a possible sell entry if EA is going to sell. I personally don't think it is going to sell at this moment. I think it's in a really good bullish move right now, especially off of the double bottom, the W. Don't know how many of you guys can see it. Close that off. This is the pattern I'm talking about. Made that W. And so, like I said, I'll be looking for price to come up here to see if it's going to reject and to see if it's going to continue on with that, with pushing to the downside, or if it's going to break this high and then continue going bullish. So that's what I'm looking for with EA. I'm a little upset that I wasn't paying attention to it yesterday, but it is what it is. Sometimes you just got to take the L in that regard, right? And so, again, EA, if it does break through this, then it'll be basically at the RSI line on the 4 hour time frame. And so, yeah, so as of right now, just not going to touch EA or GA. Those are both good pairs. Euro GBP, it's been bearish, man. I did send out a trade with Peyton. I mean, not Peyton. CJ. He did send out a Euro GBP buy yesterday, but let me go back and see exactly what I said on that. So he had wanted to get into this trade, Euro GBP. Okay, so this was from the on the Sunday analysis that I did. But so what I mentioned was that, okay, I did like the buy. I did like the buy at this zone where it was at, but I said that I'm a little iffy on it because it broke the 200 EMA, which is the average of the candles within the 200 candle time span, and that was on the daily time frame. I don't have that indicator on here right now, but I was just iffy on the sell. I mean, on the buy. I was like, this looks good for a buy, but I'm a little iffy on it, and it actually ended up doing exactly what I was hoping that it wouldn't. So yeah, unfortunately, that was a loss on that trade, but it wasn't that big of a loss. It was like what, about 15 pips, and I'm still looking at it now. I'm way happier at where it's at now than what I was shown on my phone. I mean, what I had shown earlier, and I would just go ahead and post that later on today. But I do like EURGP way better that is down here than when it was where it was at earlier. So going to be watching EURGP for that. 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, all looks terrible to try to get into a buy right now. So it'd be wise if you're using arbitrage for you to wait for it, more confirmations before you try to get into that. But like I said, I do like the way how on the regular charts where it's at for a buy, I like it down here because we can see these interactions right here that when price was here last, that it respected. So that's a good sign for me. I like seeing that. And so I'll be looking for Euro GBP for a buy, but just going to be patient on it. Maybe just like an hour or two before I get in. But I do like the buys very much so on Euro GBP. All right. Then let's go on down to Euro NZD. Okay, so with Euro NZD, let me come to it over here. So Euro NZD, I did say yesterday that I am expecting bullish movement on it. Now, even though it did come and drop down after it came and tapped right here, it did come touchdown. It still did come back up, and I still expected to break through this high right here, but I'm not gonna get into any trade with this specifically right now, based off of the naked charts, that is, right? But I do expect this to still go bullish, especially with how Euro GBP looks right now and how it could potentially turn around and start going bullish right now. That's exactly how I feel with Euro NZD. So with that being said, go on to the arbitrage indicator. And so 15 minutes calling for the buy. The 1 hour is calling for a buy as well. I do like seeing the 1 hour, how it rejected off of the upper danger zone and now it's going bullish over the RSI line. So yeah, this is a trade I'm definitely, like I said, based off of the naked charts, I wasn't going to get into this, but the way how it looks right now, it looks more appealing for me to enter. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this trade as well. If I can find it, it's not even on my list. What the hell? There you are. So new order and hit buy. All right, and so I'll be waiting for this to tell me to get out on the hourly time frame. So it's going to take a little longer for it to tell me to get out, but I'm okay with that. And then short, long exit all, create. All right, so we'll see how that plays out with EURUSD, but I do like the buy. And like I said, I still am expecting this to go bullish. I do expect it to come up to at least 1.800, and then we'll see what happens there. So that is my take on EURUSD. Let me actually make this more clear. Or, you know what? I'll just use this right here. I did enter right there. So up there. And I'm okay if my stop loss gets hit down this low. I'm not using that big of a lot size compared to my other trades because I know EURUSD does give, it's pretty heavy, but this is still almost a 1 to 3 risk to reward. So I just make sure that you have a wide stop loss on EURUSD because again, this pair is pretty heavy. When it comes, it's pretty volatile. So like if it moves, like it can move like literally 40 pips in one candle, and it's a small candle. So be careful with EURUSD. I'm not gonna look at crypto quite yet because it's kind of the same thing that it's been on. It's just been bullish, but still wondering how price is gonna handle this area. So, and I was waiting for it to come up here for a ripple. You know what? Let me just do a quick analysis. But yeah, I was waiting for price to come up to this zone on Ripple to see exactly what it was going to do. And I like that it gave that bullish impulse move, and it's still respecting this zone. So I'm waiting to see what's going to happen if this gonna prompt Ripple to drop. I still am looking for a bullish overall analysis, but not at this time. Let's go on to here with Ripple. Why am I typing it in? Yeah, so on the 15-minute time frame, that's about to be called. And I hate that it did give me this fake sell and then it ended up going bullish. But yeah, Ripple, still watching it, seeing how it's playing out. And I'm pretty sure Bitcoin might be doing something very similar. Oh, excuse me. Very similar, yep. So it gave this bullish move and then ended up rejecting at these highs. Let me go to Bitcoin on here real quick. All right, so Bitcoin is kind of the same thing. I'm glad that I didn't try to get back into a sell from the weekend. I did get into a sell, but my stop loss got hit at break even. But yeah, watching what price does at 1200, doesn't look like price necessarily wants to break through 1200 quite yet on Bitcoin. This is why I'm like, I still think this is going to drop. Remember how last time price came up here and then it ended up dropping, and I'm so mad that it dropped that low. I still think it's going to do the same thing. If it doesn't break through 1200, it'll just come back down here, retest, and just consolidate and possibly even drop some more. But until then, not really making a move on Bitcoin. But the 15-minute time frame looks the best if you are trying to get into Bitcoin or anything like that. 15-minute time frame looks very ideal to use. Let me go on the 4-hour right here real quick. Mm, 4-hour doesn't look like you want to try to sell. And then the daily time frame, I'm pretty sure, is setting up. It's setting up for a sell. So yeah, we could potentially see it drop back down to 9,400, which I think would be actually pretty beneficial for me. But we'll see how that plays out. And yeah, guys, so just gonna be patient on Bitcoin, not really necessarily looking to sell it quite yet. The 15-minute time frame, I'll set an alert for me to possibly get in it. I probably won't tell anybody I'm getting in this. If it breaks through one, oh yeah, I probably have to delete some alerts. I'll probably go set that up. But if it breaks this 11,800 area, then most likely I'll probably get into the sell. But other than that, just being patient on Bitcoin. Gold. Well, would you look at that? Gold came up and I still expect it to come to 2020. This is still the same move, same exact move that I had mentioned about gold. Came down 1915. I still expected it to go up. It did. I still am looking for 2020 to get hit, but still, yeah, same exact play. Drop up, then drop down. Nothing's changed on gold in my mind. It might give a quick short sell, but I don't think it will, personally. Let's go over here for gold real quick. Yeah, same thing. Drop down 1915, came down, pop up to 2020. I expect the drop from there. So you see this, boom, boom, or here. Just go on the 4-hour time frame. Still the exact same play, guys. Drop down, push up to 2020, and then drop down again. Might come just to 2000, 2009, whatever, and then drop, but around that area, then the drop. That's same thing for gold. Nothing's really changed for me. S&P. S&P is a funny pair. And I don't mean ha-ha funny either. Now, came up this high. This is what I don't like about S&P. They'll just come and hit a certain high, then drop, and then it's going to go back bullish. I'm glad I didn't try to get into this sell, like around right here, because although, yes, I would have been in profit, I would have just got kicked out. And, yeah. Let me just look at this. I think on S&P, it's wise to trade on the 15-minute at this point. Let me see. We have this little zone, and then price down here, and then obviously these highs right here. I'm not really liking the buy as of right now. Not really liking the buy as of yet. I mean, I'm not going to trade that using just breaking and retest. Let me go on here real quick and see what I can find. I already know the 15-minute time frame on here is calling for this sell. Yep. But what does the hour look like, though? Oh, the hour is calling for the sell as well, but it doesn't look as great. But I do like this bearish move, although it did come and hit the the lower danger zone. Price is still under the RSI line and also the compass and the momentum line. So I do expect this to drop as well. All right. Well, yeah, there you go. S&P, like I said, it could potentially drop some more. But if it breaks this zone right here, if it breaks 3,514, I'm out of the sell. But other than that, yeah, I'll definitely be looking to sell S&P. Like if it breaks 3,415, I'm out of there. So 3,515, that's where if it comes back up here, then I might look for a sell. I just might look for that sell, or in this general area, just look for it, right? But if it breaks through, I'm out. Not looking to trade it. And I'll probably only take it down to 3,490. And if you want to try to take it even lower, 3,473. So this would be my proposed trade. Either get in up here or you can get in right where price is currently at. Let me actually fib this real quick to give me a general idea. Oh yeah, definitely like that. I wish I would have paid attention a little bit better. But yeah, I'd rather prefer get an entry at 3,515 than right now. But even getting an entry right here is not a bad idea either. And I would take it down to, yeah, I like this extension right here. If price can come back down here, that'd be great. So, and that's for the S&P. I don't really trade the Dow Jones, but I'm pretty much basically the same thing on it. Oh, the Dow Jones even looks way better. I mean, I wouldn't trade this because what most likely is going to happen with this price getting to the 38.2, he's going to come up to here, take these out. This is what I think what's going to happen with S&P. I mean, with the Dow Jones, price come back up, take those out, and then drop back to these lows. So we'll see how that plays out, though. But I'm not really trading the Dow Jones, like I said. I'm more focused on S&P. So is there anything else that anybody wants me to look at? I know my things have been a lot more short lately, which I know some people are glad about, and some people might not be glad about that. But like I said, I feel like this is the best way how I trade. Select a few pairs and just look at those pairs only. This needs to change to green. Not really looking at those, so I'll change those to red. Looking at EG green, EURUSD green. I'm not looking at Bitcoins or anything like that. But in S&P, yellow for sure. All right, so these are the trades that I'm in. EURUSD, GBPUSD, I'm still waiting for it to hit that area that I was talking about. It might not, but I do like how that previous hour candle did go a little higher, but it didn't end up hitting here. AUDUSD, like I mentioned, I'm still in that trade. GA, I'm still in, and I mean GA, I'm not in, but it did what I wanted it to do. EURGP was a pair that I'm looking to get into the buy and all that stuff. And EU, the added entries that I got into, they're up about 10 pips, so that's good. AUDUSD, it's up about same thing. It's not gone. It hasn't really gone that far for me. And yeah, so that's my analysis, guys. Thanks for hopping on and watching the recording. I appreciate it. And let's make some money out here. I'll catch y'all in the chats.